Alright, that's good to know. Because it matters for the positioning, because a lot of the time they were saying like Cassie and Torvald should be playing together, but that's complete bullshit then, because if Torvald just can get like whatever, like Cassie's rolling around a lot, so if she's just like, if you put Torvald on point and Cassie's rolling back here, that's no problem to shield, you know? Eventually she's gonna roll into an angle that you can get. It's the same as support. Like, if you want your Cassie to get heals like all the way back there, you just make sure you can get this angle rather than put your Dumba back here with the Cassie, you know? Okay, so I guess I have to restart talking about the team compositions. So first, like at the beginning of the game, you kind of like see if you have to get the kills or if you have to prevent the kills and sit in the back and spam. Talking about the team comps, before you even start the game, this is the stuff you should realize. The goal of having, so I was analyzing defensive tanks and offensive tanks. The idea with defensive tanks is you need a lot of damage to take them down, while with offensive tanks typically have ults that will stall the shit out of you, you know? So like if Fernando ult stalls you, doesn't matter how much damage you have, he just stalls you for this many seconds. Same with Ashe ult.
Barik was banned, by the way?
No, it was Shaolin and Maeve. That's why we got.
Pick Torvald instead of Barik.
They picked Ashe first. I understand why they did it, but we'll talk about that after my explanation. So defensive tanks like Inara, like Torvald, they just have like big HP pools, just like damage reduction shit that stalls them, and you just need more damage. They don't really have anything to stall out for this many seconds for sure, you know? So what you want to do, like, so basically it's kind of easier to take them down, and you don't need all your damage dealers to be there. You just need to wait out the time, and then having an extra damage dealer there is just gonna stall out, like, it's gonna give them more effectiveness, you know? Effectiveness, is that a word?
Yes.
Okay. As I said, I should read more. So, knowing that they've got those type of tanks, then also what I said before about the Liam that's sitting in the back, like in the Paladins Global Series, they just put him literally on every single map. They put him with their support, stacked him, Chenos and Lian, or Maldamba Liam, and just shot every single angle. Didn't do anything surprising with him, didn't go on flank or anything, and that's exactly what they're doing here. And that's exactly why he gets like 2 deaths in the whole game. But because that's what their tactic is, they want to stall out with their tanks and just have a big DPS in the back. We have to counter that somehow. And I think that Cassie played good, but she didn't realize this. She didn't realize that she had to get kill potential to make the game easier. I think that Makoa also didn't realize this, and that they should have played together to be able to do that. Also, I think Makoa hooked a shitload of tanks, and could have, in a lot of scenarios, hooked DPS. So, I think that also shows from the Cassie her playstyle. Like, given that she's chosen to play the game like this, I think she does it very well. And later you'll see her going into 3 times Wrecker as well, just because she's always hitting those tanks, and she feels like we gotta take those shields down, but really it's just a Fernando shield, and 1 Wrecker could take care of that. And like the Ashe shield, often you can just ignore it, you know? Unless it's a big shield, but that just sucks balls, so nobody does that. So really 1 Wrecker for 1 shield, that's very typical. I think the only times you go 2 Wreckers is like maybe when you're against a Torvald and somebody else with a big shield, like a Torvald Fernando, Torvald Makoa maybe. I'm not sure. I would still go 1 shield with the Torvald Makoa, because Makoa's shield is like, then he can't hook, so it's pretty nice. So with the shot calling, I think I do the right stuff a lot of the time. I think the first point, I was able to call it, and we put Makoa, Cassie together in church, and we put the other three here. I think that's a bit dangerous for the people that are going here. Where's my mouse now? Okay. When you put 2 people and 3 people, typically what a lot of teams do is they send more people up here. So then you gotta play this defensive. But the dangerous part about losing this high ground battle is that you start leaking out of these holes. But if you've got 2 people here, they zone out anybody that can really take a lot of effectiveness of leaking out of the holes. So it's not really a problem. Turns out, I called this to Makoa. I'm not sure why he wasn't here. Your job when you're playing here, I think maybe you just missed. I'm not sure, but maybe his master writing, so that's why it was difficult. Fernando just runs through the middle and goes here. I think because he sees the Cassie. I don't know. I want to point out the Leon positioning. He's standing on the outside, not there. He doesn't get so much value here, but he gets a lot of value if you win this fight from this positioning. And this is what we have to punish. This is where I want to see Cassie going here and just like peeking him out. He's standing in the open. You got peeking spots. You can really take advantage of that. Also, you got way more mobility. Alright. So yeah, we're leaking out of the spots, but Cassie zoned out the Leon so they can't take so much advantage, you know? But again, this is what I was talking about before.
You mean, no wait, Leon zoned Cassie.
Yeah, Leon zoned Cassie, yeah. But maybe, I don't know the 1v1 super well. I've been told by Frog that Cassie beats Leon, but also you can't just like go all out for the Leon, you know? But I think you could have gone more aggressive and could have gone like been here so you have closer range, peek out from this side as well. You've got tons of room to escape with your rolls from this side. Well, she doesn't really have anywhere to escape. So maybe if you win the poke battle, then you can go in on it. If she wins the poke battle, you back out.
I don't know.
You know.
Seemed like he missed everything. Zexelos hit everything.
Well, maybe Janos healed him, and I definitely didn't heal him because the fight was pretty developed from this side.
Nako is sleeping at the moment.
Alright, so this is what I'm talking about. Their composition, how we're not punishing it. So far, we've only been hitting tanks. You know, both tanks are low. Like it's normal in the high ground fight. You send 4 people there. The 2 offensive tanks are gonna stall you for a shitload of time, and that's why I would like to see the Makoa here.
We gotta come out fast. We gotta hit them hard. They got the first frag. Enemy dub. Look out.
So yeah, now we have to reset quickly.
Enemy dub. Look out.
Oh no, do I stagger? Oh no. Alright. I think they zone us effectively.
Yeah, they did.
So here, again, maybe I'm drawing this too hard, but it's like Cassie could have gone here, could have gone to the kill potential position, but instead she opts to go hit a tank that, with the same logic that like this tank's gonna die anyways unless he's got his ult, and then you're just one more DPS being there. But yeah, they got the point, so now we're just trying to defend. This is very bad. Everybody on the low ground. I think it was called out, so Makoa goes around. Jorgos is using combustible, so I don't think he can go to this position. I think he has to stay more on the bridge here. I think he eventually does it.
Yeah, but he's gonna be useless there in the beginning. Because
Yeah, but this is standard so far. At
least when they hit the angle, he just flies to the high ground.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So this is something pretty typical. People don't come out to peek, and I'm not sure why. I feel like for me it's a very instinctive thing. I see them low, and you see me trying to crawl up here just to get a better angle to, like, you know, with not organized teams, it fucking sucks to be a healer because you're like here, nobody peeks, and they stand there, and the little ledge and this stuff blocks the heals, so they have to jump or something. But that's why I tend to go up the stairs and increase the angle. So like from here I could heal the Drogos if he's not peeking me. But yeah, you just see them getting lower and lower, and eventually they just get zoned out by one Makoa just because they didn't peek. You see? They're just getting zoned out while they had a couple of seconds to peek. And now when these guys get zoned out, Cassie are like, I could have healed these guys, then been fine, and then had everybody full HP for when the Cassie came back here to roll, but he dies because I can't give him a heal with this going on, you know? Or maybe I should have ignored this, but the high ground is super, like, no. I'm just putting in this shitty situation, you know? The high ground is super important.
Fernando would be very worse.
Yeah. So now it's just like we're stuck with 3 people and they get punished because of this mistake, you know? And yet, this is what a tank hook, it's fine at this point because they're the only ones and they're very far away, but you see it a lot in this game. So yeah, look at their positioning. I think it's beautiful. I think Bomb King could have been up here if he wanted to. But yeah, it's pretty nice, you know? They got 2 tanks, one here, one there, and DPS here with a healer. They're just forcing us to hit their tanks, and then that they can't get to the DPS. Alright. This first point, the defense, you see where it goes wrong, it was one mistake and they pushed it in, I think. It's unfortunate, but yeah.
Capture point spawns in 15 seconds.
Okay, so now this time, it's like we can't decide on what to do. So we go high ground, they're not there, and then it's like, okay, we're just gonna chill up here, we're gonna swap positions a bunch just to poke them out. But that gives them a lot of time to run around us and get the ideal situation for them. So we'll see what happens. I want you to look at the Makoa and the Cassie positioning. So the idea is that Makoa and Cassie play together and go threaten a certain side very hard, so one tank either has to back off, giving more room for Jogos on the other tank, or I don't know, just do something is the point. But yeah, we'll see the Makoa. First the Makoa went deep, and the Cassie was here. Now the Cassie's going deep, and the Makoa is here. Well, I want them to play together on this flank and go deep. Now Cassie's here. I think she comes back here. Makoa goes back. I don't know. Makoa goes to the low ground, and Cassie comes here. You know, it's like you're not seeing each other. You gotta look at each other. And also, this is exactly what I was talking about before when we were analyzing the team compositions. This is exactly the type of scenario they want. A poke battle where they've got the better poke, and they've got the tanks that can just stall it out for longer than our tanks. Our Makoa has great kill potential. He dies faster than a Fernando would, you know? Oh, King told me not to say you know.
No way. Doesn't like.
I don't know. Told me like. Okay. So I don't know why he told me like. I say too much maybe. So this is exactly what happens. Makoa gets low, and they're in a perfect position to deal with it, and he's gonna have to roll back soon. And also he's using an ult in their front line. You know, it's just because of the way we're playing. If we poke out, we keep the DPS, we poke out their tanks, they poke out our tanks, we're going to lose because we got the shittier tanks to do this strat with, and they've got the better DPS to poke us out, you know? And this is what that forces. So it's our play style like he's supposed to ult there in this situation. So it's a good move by Erso, and he played it well. But it's just that this isn't the winning strategy.
I mean, he's not gonna do much. He's basically
Exactly.
just gonna survive.
He can't get kill potential, but he's ulting because he has to, and he doesn't want to like 50%
Maybe,
already.
maybe with a roll and the hook on Bomb King. If
Yeah,
Bomb
but if he
King does not
rolls,
react, blah blah blah.
yeah, he'd have to outplay very hard, and he has to put a lot of confidence in his team to follow up. Like he has to roll this guy poppy bombs away, and is that Ash or Fernando? That's Fernando. All right, and then he has to get the hook on the poppy bomb away. So he has to make that play. Plus, his team has to follow him. You know, it's possible, and it could be an option, but it's not a winning strategy. You know, that's not going to happen all of the time, and you want to be put in positions where there's a high percentage that you can get a kill.
Yeah. Also, like the Ash from the beginning of the round is owning on her own, like 2-3 people on the flank, and no one deal with her. And now she's gonna go behind them as well.
Yeah, the thing is with these tanks,
like, you can't
you
really
kind of
like this.
well, that's what I'm talking about. That's kind of what they want to do. We have to deal with the Ash if he's there. If he's there, because we want to flank around, but if an Ash is there, we can't just pass him and ignore him. But we do have a Cassie that can be by herself on the flank, you know? If ideally Cassie could be here and getting kill pressure from behind, then their tanks have a much harder time dealing with defending their DPS. Now we're just always attacking from two sides and not getting very many angles. I want to talk about this ult. My ult, the reasoning, I saw this problem happening with the Makoa ult, but it just happened super late. And I saw people like going aggressive, so I thought maybe it would be okay.
You just stop for a while.
Yeah. But yeah, do you see? We're all grouped up again. I guess the Cassie's not here, so that's what we're supposed to do, but I feel like he could have retreated to there. We're playing from this side of the map, so just like I like it that you're taking another angle, but when it's like getting messy, you stick with people. But it's fine. So this game is pretty long, by the way.
Yeah, you said it's 4-3.
Yeah. So I try to speed it up. My advice.
No, it's fine.
No, but if they have to watch too long of a video. So this is pretty standard. They have to rush on to point. I get off of it. Yeah, I don't know what to say. They get their positions again, and we're forced on point. Oh, this ult is beautiful. I love this. Yeah, that captures the support. I feel like, why is there nobody on point though? You know? We're at 99%, the Fernando was ulted away, you gotta stay on the point just because that's the strategy with the Torvald ult, you know? You ult them to cap the point when it's at 99%.
Yeah, but they had overtime.
Yeah.
Y'all really just let them triple kill you?
So, I'll talk.
So you got this.
Get after him.
Now you got
I
this.
pauses a few times. I guess I can talk about how to capture the high ground. Or not how to capture the high ground, but how to play the push. With a Torvald, typically the only thing you see him do is play from here. And he's just waiting for an opportunity. So basically you have people on the high ground that they have to capture the high ground as well, just because this position is super OP. So basically you have two people up here, hope you push them out, and once they get pushed out, you bring your Torvald out and you ult them. You ult them off the map. That's super cliche play. I think because they just have, it's the same thing as before. They have the better tanks, they have the better DPS, so they're going to win out this poke battle. And that's why it gets very hard to zone them out. Also, Leon does a very effective job of keeping the Torvald low whenever he starts threatening this position. I don't think it's the problem of the Torvald. I think just more shit had to happen on the left side of the map. Like, I don't think we see a Cassie going here any of the time. I think Dragos maybe went over once, but otherwise it's just spamming, keeping everything pretty standard, you know? But that's not how we win with this team composition. Why is this not unpausing?
Page it up, I guess.
I don't think that works with pauses. You have to wait for the pause to...
I think it does.
It's gonna go like instant now.
Right.
There we go. Okay. So now heal up, and then we know our strategies, you know? We gotta play on the left side of the map and put Torvald here. That's what I would like to see. I was talking about this in game, and Frog was like, nah, I want to go on the high ground because I can poke out people from far. Again, that's not the right reasoning, but I let him do it because maybe I'm wrong and maybe he's right, you know, but we'll see. We'll see, Frog.
Yeah, I mean, will probably work now. It doesn't matter if you have Makoa that much or...
No, it matters.
Only about the ult, it's nice to have him on the right.
Well, the problem here is we need a DPS. We need a DPS up here with him to deal with the Fernando. The shield's just too big for him, and he can't do what he was trying to do. Eventually, the Fernando fucks up and overextends, but doesn't give credit to his tactic, you know.
Exactly.
So here, this is nice. Torvald had to drop down. That's why we can't have a tank on the high ground. But we see how fast. We see how fast we have to drop out of it. Alright, so this is some advice for Aircel. And also, just for the team in general. I'd like to see better communication about this Drogo's ulti. I think you called it out that you were going to ult, but I kind of want to, as soon as you, like you're ulting, but as soon as you're going, I kind of, like at this point here, you kind of know who you're going to ult, but the rest of the team doesn't. And that creates a focus that is bad. So I ulted the two tanks so they couldn't ult when you ulted, so that was good. I saw it coming. But now I want to look at the Makoa hook. So if he's gonna ult Fernando here. Makoa, you gotta be looking at the DPS. Like everybody's gotta be thinking about what has to happen when a Drogo's ult comes through. DPS are trying to kill the Drogo's before he gets there, and people are gonna ult before he gets there, you know. But we want it to succeed, so I ult the tanks. And then you gotta be zoning out the DPS. The tanks aren't gonna do much when they're feared, you know? And we don't need that damage. Also, I saw a lot of people poking the Fernando instead of the Ashe right before he died. So that's another thing when Coners, you're saying I'm ulting the Fernando, then we could have focused the Ashe and it would have been better for us. Now, the Makoa hook, this is crazy because he's not gonna, like, if you hook him, we're not gonna have enough damage to take him down, and he's not ult. Well, really, they went aggressive to take down the Drogos, and they're still going aggressive because this is a misposition after, but he can't do anything about it, you know? So the DPS go aggressive, you could have gotten a beautiful hook on it. Also, I would like to see you up here, not there. Yeah, we'll see if he ults now. I think he does. See? So there's two problems here. Yeah, the Bomb King ulti. That's what you're talking about, Aerosol. You don't ult with Bomb King. I feel it weird we got zoned out here. If Connors was on the high ground, maybe we could have got more pressure here. I don't know. Whatever. I guess that just kind of happens. I feel like we gave it up too fast. Alright, so now a reset because Jorgos died. Or a slow reset, you know. But yeah, now Jorgos is back and people are all low HP. So this I like. Putting 3 people up there, forcing them back. Now Torvald should have been here. And now, like, do you see an ulti now? Would have been great. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. But because he wasn't there on time, they lose that poke battle just because it's our team composition and they have to drop off and his window closed.
Wait, so you want 3 people on the high ground?
I just want something to be created on the left side so Torvald can go here and ults. That's the whole tactic with Torvald. Like, oh, and also, well, no, I'll talk about it next point. Shit, it's already 30 minutes, dude.
Can you tab? Okay.
So yeah, do you see how the Cassie got Wrecker? But it makes sense because she's hitting tanks all the time. But if she was here, a Cauterize would have been much more effective at taking the 1v1 with Leon. That's maybe what happened before. He had Cauterize and he didn't. So then any poke he got on them didn't get healed, while Baku's definitely healing the Genos because it's stacking. Alright, so I think the call is for everybody high ground. I think we should have changed that up a bit, but whatever. Drogos, no, you get hit. I fucked up my ult here. That's my bad. So, this is what I'm talking about, the angle that she can get because we've got nobody here.
Yeah.
And now us leaking out gets dangerous. And I think they're going to clean us up pretty quick. Yeah, we'll see.
That's what I expect.
Yeah. But yeah. Turns out okay, really.
Yeah, it was a good reset.
Yeah, but again, stack DPS. That's unfortunate. Fernando used the wall to jump. So now Cassie's playing her position. I like this. And yeah, she gets zoned out because there's a bunch of people here, but it's still very nice. And he dodge rolls the fireball, which is cool.
Enemy dub, look out! Alright, they're getting hot, they're getting hot.
You got any advice for us, Bullet?
No.
You're gonna have to train this with your team.
Give your king a big hug!
I mean, you pointed out the mistakes.
Yeah. Oh, I love how Kikonis was here and he asked for a heal. And he trusted me to give it to him. And the one before I told him no. But then he was like, okay, give me the next one. This is what I'm doing with my ult here. Zoning out. So with my ult, I've got 2 ways to combo with the Jorgos here. It depends which target he's going for. So if he's going for a tank that has ulti that can stall it out, I gotta ult them. But now he goes for an ult on somebody that he can definitely get, and then I ult the DPS because they weren't getting any pressure and it would have nuked the dude. Or that's the reasoning. Maybe they wouldn't have nuked him, but probably because he got nuked right after, you know.
Hold, brothers. Escort our fair lady whilst I frag.
Let's see how you play the high ground now.
Yeah. But yeah, this is what you see with our comp. They just have more spam with the back off. We gotta get angles.
Yeah, okay, nice. Cassie's going exactly where I would told you.
Yeah, that's nice. I would have maybe pressured through
Yeah,
here,
there
or I
on
don't
the
know.
window.
He wants to pressure through this side, so it's acceptable. Like he chooses for that, and it's okay.
Yeah, I mean just to get the first choke point.
Yeah, but
then you need to reposition.
But yeah, I wouldn't put 3 people on the high ground again just because we've already done that. But here, do you see Cassie's rolling around like crazy, trying to shoot and trying to heal up? But really, it's not as effective as a Leon. You're playing like this is Leon's just gonna do it better. So why not go here, go near the fountain, and poke them out from this angle? That would like a Cassie's really good at 1v1ing, you know. And if you put a Cassie here, she gets a really good angle for everybody that's leaking out from trying to get heals from the juggles, you know, or trying to avoid poke. And then this angle punishes you very hard. Then they've got 2 ways to deal with it. They can send one of their damage dealers, but then you're a Cassie and you're 1v1ing very well. But if they send one of their tanks, then they're either leaving open the high ground or the connector, you know? So I think the right move is to send a tank, but then it leaves you vulnerable at different areas. And then the Torvald can get here beautifully with when their tank is being here, you know? It just punishes them by you being here.
Yeah, it's just perfect for the Cassie basically.
So yeah.
You can roll away anyway.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is the strategy she chooses for, so. This was very unfortunate. Torvald gets like 3 different projectiles from 3 different areas at the same time, so he just gets nicked. And he's like, what?
Hurry.
But yeah, do you see? So I was telling, I think I made a communication mistake. I was keep on saying like Torvald, this is what he does, you know. But if the team doesn't create the scenario, Torvald can never get that ult, and eventually Frog freaks out and is like, okay, fine, I'm gonna finally do it because he feels guilty or something for not doing it, you know. But he gets nuked because they all have their perfect position to deal with it. I kind of like it though. We do very like one person gets nukes, but we hold off pretty well with. We don't give up our positioning just because one person dies. You know, sometimes it punishes us, but a lot of the time it hasn't punished us.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, we definitely know how to play.
You retreat poking.
Yeah, like yeah,
like
exactly. Oh yeah, and check this out. So this is what I want to see a Cassie do, but it had to be overtime for you to be in that position. But once you get there, you outplay them, and he does great. So what happens was Torvald was here. He couldn't get on the point in time. Cassie was resetting, so he goes with his horse. He rolls here. He outplays them, rolls a bunch, and kills the support. And what went from a very shitty situation went to something really great, you know? And even he dies, but he killed the support, which is fine. And now, you don't think we're gonna win this, you know? They've got, but their support couldn't heal them up, so we take the 2 tanks, and now we can push it in, you know? And that's what we need, that pressure, that kill potential to be able to do something.
That was nice.
Yeah, it's about finding the kill potential. That's the main thing to get out of this game, I think. What?
SOC Ninosasula.
SOC. A new beginning.
Capture point spawns in 15
A and B.
seconds.
Jesus, it's already been 40 minutes. Hopefully I can cut out a lot. Okay, so again, Cassie's playing here and he gets punished by the DK ult. It's not a problem per se that he was there, but it's just like, it's a hard situation to play from.
Maybe he doesn't feel comfortable against it.
Well, he's playing Cassie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, it's a nice hook.
Okay, real talk, time to stop that guy.
Maybe Torvald shouldn't have been on point there. I think he tried to threaten it. He thought that the fight was winning. But yeah.
Yeah, he shouldn't be anyway.
I should have got a heal faster on him.
Yeah, that as well, but Torvald in general needs to be more like backline.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna end the recording here because they just zoned us out. We can't do anything about it.